Good morning, everybody. You don't know me, I'm Margaret Zilski, your president, and I'd like to call the August 2024 Town Hall meeting to order. Right now, as we call it, officially the election is closed. The voting is done. First, let me introduce some of my fellow board members. I've got Ed Cannon, he's our secretary, Lynn Navy, our member at large, Bill Brown, our treasurer, and Lynn Kennedy, our vice president, and of course, Ashley McNair, our property manager. From last March. Now I have to vote on those, make a motion to set the March meeting, and also today.
All right, I'm making a motion to adopt the agenda. I second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Away from you, the minutes of March 23rd, 2024. Madam Secretary.
Can I ask that you guys speak up just a little bit? They're having trouble hearing. Thank you.
Who's seconding that? All over the house.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Alrighty, our town hall meetings are informational meetings and not usually making a vote or, making decisions. Now, we are here today for this meeting and we are asking members of the association beforehand to submit their ideas, their questions, concerns, and motions in advance so we could address them and what's on your minds. We did hear from a few members and glad to provide the answers to those questions and updates on many of the projects that we have. This meeting will be following the Roberts rules. Got my little book and my little ballot. The president is the chair of the meeting and all will call on members to speak. Those wishing to speak should raise their hand and wait to be recognized by the chair. Members may speak no more than twice on a single subject and they have to wait that everybody's had their first chance at it. And all speakers will be limited to 2 minutes. Our committee chairs will update everyone on their activities, answer questions, and change their areas. After their presentation, the board will address the homeowner's submission, and if time permits, we will take questions from the floor. And if we don't get to all of those questions, please write in, contact us, and we'll get back to you. Lastly, we will announce the elections for the 2 new board members. Before we start, as always, I have a couple of housekeeping items. Seems to be my job. The Bay Pointe roads are not a storage lot. We're getting a lot more cars being parked on the roads for a permanent time without being moved back and forth or, being used. It really is causing a lot of congestion. And if you have guests that are staying for a long period of time, we ask that they use the clubhouse parking lot or the boatyard to park. Because we know we are having guests through the summer that are on a longer stay. We also ask that with the congestion that's happening in emergency vehicles trying to get through, that it is getting difficult to negotiate roads. As much as you can park in your garage, we really appreciate it. We also have a reminder that all homeowners, their guests, and contractors must not park on the tops of the curbs. We put that in because we repaired all the curbs and all of the sprinkler systems that are in that common area between the sidewalk and the curb. Unfortunately, we have already had a damaged sprinkler head out in the front entrance. Somebody came in, either a vehicle, could have been a construction worker or whatever it is, ran over and we already lost one sprinkler that we had to have it repaired. So we really would like everybody to make a conscious effort not to park on top of the curbs. Once again, I have a poop notice again, and dog owners need to keep their dogs off of people's private property. Private property starts not necessarily the sidewalk to the road to the sidewalk, it's the sidewalk on, so you really need to stay off of people's property. We also are finding people that are leaving large bags of poop in the common areas. So please let your guests know too, that they've got to follow the rules and, really have to dispose of their dog's waste. Now we'll get on to the meeting. Bill's going to start off with the treasurer's report, and then we'll have each of the 7 committee chairs will present their reports. Bill, it's all yours.
Good morning, Bay Point. The treasurer's report for the Bay Point Homeowners Association as of July 31st, 2024 is as follows. The operating fund balance is $69,889. The operating reserve fund balance is $40,303. The long-term reserve fund balance is $412,156. The social committee fund balance is $8,495. And the total balance for all funds is $530,844. The operational fund budget has a positive variance of $11,153. A mid-year budget projection made by Premier is presenting an operating net surplus for calendar year 2024 of $15,443. We're in pretty good shape. Our year-to-date return on long-term reserve investments has averaged around 5%. My appreciation to James Berry for chairing the investment committee and all the work that his committee has done to safely optimize our investments. Frederick Mayer from the investment committee will provide us with further insights concerning our investments later in the meeting. I also like to recognize Paul Strauss for chairing the roads committee and thank him for all the hard work he has done and his committee in upkeeping our roads and pavements. Later, Paul will update you on the committee's current projects. And finally, I'd like to thank Edward Hammond and Lynn Matty for all their hard work serving on the board. I will miss working with both of you. Thank you.
It's me.
It's you. Right there. You do an investment committee.
He's here.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Mr. Mayor. With the investment committee for approximately 9 months. And I'm filling in for James Barry. Basically, James is our leader and has been the foundation of a lot of the investment. And along with James, he is on vacation, by the way. Along with James, we have Richie C, also Dennis Barton. Right now, we
Can I have you come up this way a little bit? I'm sorry.
Here.
Closer to the microphone. Thank you.
Excuse me. Okay. But anyway, what I really wanted to go through with you today are 3 basic areas of the investment committee. Number 1, the structure. Number 2, the investments that were in year-to-date profits that we've made or gains that we've made. And then third, kind of give you an example of a recent investment recommendation that the committee did. So it kind of gives you the flavor of our committee. First of all, we report to the HOA board and make recommendations to invest funds. They, the investment committee, approves anything that we recommend. We're not the final authority. They will make the final decision. We invest in financial tools such as CDs, money markets, also some mutual funds. So it's a mix of investments. And the board has the final authority, as I said, but really the basis of it is to get better returns on our money that's not being immediately used, and we can help add value to the community and also to our reserve funds. Secondly, our investments, our HOA long-term funds are currently invested 80% in T-bills, CDs, and a money market. The remaining 20% is invested in index mutual funds. While the CDs and treasuries are excellent tools and for short-term investments, we really need it to be in some stocks and bonds and funds, mutual funds that we have to beat inflation and try to keep pace with some of the gains of the market. Obviously, you can see the stock market over 40,000. It's crazy right now. So it's up. Obviously, it can go down, but we kind of have the protection of some of our investments, obviously. Year to date, July year to date, the long-term reserve funds interest and unrealized gains total $15,390. And the operational reserve fund gain is $1,730. So not too shabby so far this year. So I think we're, right now our tools are working. So, but you have to keep a sharp eye on all this. And that's what we're charged to do. We do meet, meant to mention this earlier, we meet on once a month on the second Thursday of each month. So just so you know when we do actually meet. One example, finally, the last thing I wanted to touch on, an example of what we do. We just recently recommended board approved an investment into 3 short-term T-bills, 3 months of 20,000, a 6 months of 30,000, and a 9 month of 30,000.
Awesome.
And the reason we did this is obviously we're expecting a rate decrease from the Fed next month. The Federal Reserve is meeting, and I think we're all hoping for a decrease in some rates. But obviously that affects our investments on the investment side too. So they, the interest rates may go down a little bit. So what we try to do with those 3 investments, the 3 month, and the 6 month, we got at 5%, over 5%. And the 9 month we invested, and got 4.7%. So again, we're trying to lock in those rates before the expectation of a lower, interest rate from the Federal Reserve next month. That remains to be seen, but we're pretty sure it should happen. Most economists feel that will happen. That will help, obviously, mortgage rates and a few other things. Anyway, that's a quick summary of the 3 areas I want to cover. One appeal I have is to try to meet a 5th member for our committee. So if you're interested, please let myself or Richie know, or any of our board members. That Bill is our liaison with everything we do. So he has been a great help for our committee also. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I applaud the diversity of investments. Has there been any consideration of that hedge fund?
We really haven't gone into hedge funds. I mean, it's something we should think about, but we talked about various investments. Right now, we have index funds and the mutual funds, which are a little more, we can make moves, actually we have those investments, but we haven't picked any hedge funds.
Hedge funds aren't permitted.
Oh, they're not permitted.
They're not for you. Okay, well, that was that question.
Yes.
But no, I think what I've heard is.
Yeah, we're happy with the results so far this year. We're adding to our value and our reserves, so.
If you were thinking about going into commercial bonds, are you looking at investment grade or? So.
Is that permitted? Commercial bonds?
If we were gonna do corporates, it'd probably be, better than high grade, versus
Yeah,
high
it
grade.
would be high grade. Corporate bond?
Yeah.
We haven't looked at them, but that's a good alternative, as Frank said, once the rates start going down, obviously they pay a little bit better than treasuries. If buying some of quality, that's a pretty good option.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering my questions.
you for your questions.
Thank you.
Anything else?
You guys are doing a great job.
Morning. Colin Weber, Chair of the Architecture Review Board. The Architecture Review Board has 5 members, Marty Talley, Bob Frank, Bill Shirey, and Greg Stevens. We meet once a month on the third Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. here in the clubhouse. Our year-to-date status is that as far as applications, we had 2 applications that carried over from 2023 where the projects weren't completed. And then we have approved 15 applications so far this year. 8 projects have been completed and finally inspected in 2024, and we have 9 projects that are in progress and will probably require final inspection sometime soon. That's 17 applications, 17 projects, and the status of those is either completed or in progress. Questions? Anyone? Thank you.
Great job.
Bay Pointers.
Hey, Larry. I'm Larry from the Grounds Committee. As you all know, this great community, just a great bunch of volunteers, and we appreciate it. A lot of the projects we do are just onesies and twosies, and we don't really put a whole lot out. We do have some projects coming up. I know Paul's will get into decking. We're going to set a day. We're going to move the furniture under the pavilion, and then we'll have to come back and we'll clean it and put it away after that. So we'll put something on Facebook and email out. A couple people can help. We'd appreciate it. So, but I like the read report here for August. Put May. In Biotech in July, they applied the standard liquid herbicide treatments to pond 1, ponds 1, 2, 5, the clubhouse pond, and the entrance riprap for weeds, smartweeds, duckweeds, and all that good stuff. They also applied standard liquid algicide treatments to ponds 2, 3, and 5. The clubhouse pond and pond 2 received granulated algicide treatments for the algae control. We're waiting for some price estimates and proposed scheduling for the following recommended pond maintenance: wet pond drain inlet forebay reconstructions and sediment removals. The wet pond outfall pipe stabilization replacements, which needed, and we need that soon. So, and the final wetland outfalls stabilization replacements. That all is going to be done soon. Tom Fritzman, he's the owner of the company. He's going to come in 2025 to brief one of these meetings. He'll come talk about all that good stuff. The fountains, Ken Burke continues to maintain the entrance and clubhouse fountains, doing a great job. The gazebo and beach maintenance, really, Jerry and Chris, thank you all so much. They're there every month for 2.5 hours, breaking it, cleaning up pine cones, branches. Every month they're there for 2.5 hours. Really appreciate it. It's great. Thank you. Lawn and irrigation repair. Someone was Barb mentioned, somebody drove over one of the sprinkler heads, but that's they repaired that all. We're getting some tree trimming done on the common grounds, the front entrance lighting. Like to thank Drew. Thank you so much for doing that. It looks wonderful. So additional spotlights shines on the trees there. It looks really nice. Emergency tree removal, a large tree split and laid across the lawn area and the entrance area. With these storms coming up, we'll just have to, keep an eye on all that good stuff. So. Any questions from the grounds? Cool. Thank you.
I'm the committee of one, the roads committee. So, as as I always say, we own the roads, we own the curbs, we own the sidewalks, we own the underground stormwater pipes, and we own all that. We're responsible for maintaining it. And one of my missions as a roads committee, is to, take care of small maintenance projects as they occur, to kind of defer major spending. And so we don't eat up all those great profits that I talked about. And so, we do things like patching, sealing, those kind of things. So, the current, work list we have going on right now is that, the board has awarded a contract to TMS Asphalt Maintenance, and they will be doing crack sealing and roadway surface coating. Did this a couple of years ago. It's time to refresh that. There's talk about scheduling is going to be contingent on, there's going to be a new home being constructed down the south end of Heron Reach Court soon, I guess, whenever that starts. So you'll see, construction vehicles in and out of here. And so we're thinking maybe we hold off on doing that circle down here till next year, or we hold off on the whole deal till next year. But that's something the board will have to discuss. Do the majority of the community, including the clubhouse parking lot. If we do it this year, it'll probably be sometime in mid to late September to do that. And then we would follow up in the spring. So again, that's a board decision, that'll have to be made. You may see nothing going on, or you may see that. The community will be informed when that happens. So to be the usual, don't park your cars on the streets on those days. Concrete pool deck. Okay, so everyone knows that we have a lot of settlement cracks that have, now that pool deck is probably, someone correct me, it's at least 15 years old, right? About that, 17 years. Okay, so there's been some settlement, and you have a series of settlement cracks. And so we're going to grind those out sometime in September after the pool's closed. We're going to have a contractor who's going to grind them out and caulk them with an elastomer, a sort of a compound, the same stuff you see around the pool coping. We're not going to do a wholesale coating of the pool this year. That'll be something we'll consider doing possibly next year. Like Larry mentioned, all that furniture will have to get moved off the deck sometime after the pool closes, which is the last day is the 8th of September. Correct. So starting on the 9th and onward, we're tentatively scheduling the work to happen on the week of the 24th of September. And so that'll be, you'll see a lot of grinding and here and grinding, and it'll be all contained in this area. All right. After that, the pool will be winterized. They'll vacuum out any dust that settles in the pool. And Premier Pool will come in and they'll do the winterization, cover, and all that. All right. And so those are the two big things. The other thing I ask anyone that has an issue with a sidewalk curb, subsidence in the street in front of their house where we have drain pipes, let me know, or let someone on the board know so we can. I have a working list building. We don't want to, attack every job as it comes unless it's a safety issue. Okay, if it's a tripping hazard on a sidewalk, or it's a street issue that you have to address. Of course, deal with that immediately. But trying to accumulate, because getting a contractor to do small jobs is darn near impossible. You know what I mean? Unless you want to make some shack reading, build it yourself. So I'm trying to build a list that's workable, that we're going to bring a concrete truck in, at least 2-yard minimum on orders of concrete. That's a lot of concrete. That's a lot of curb repairs. And so, we're trying to do that. Otherwise, we're paying a premium. You're not getting that. So that's what, any sidewalk issue, any curb issue, please let us know. Add it to the list. I take a look at it. Add it to the list. Yeah, the list. Okay.
And the third, I'm sorry, it's a good idea to coat the driveway. So,
if you want it,
I mean, does that,
well, you own your driveway.
right, but does that benefit the concrete?
Sealing concrete is always a good idea. Concrete will age, it'll fall, falling when the little bits sort of pop off the surface. Don't put rock salt on your concrete. That is poison. That is poison to concrete. get a lot of spalling. It just looks bad, or it's not really.
What, and this is just personal, I'm just like using your knowledge with it. So what do you have in code question?
Oh my God, there's any number of products, so I've got a lot of,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Is
you
there-
can, there's sealants that are clear, colorless sealants, on, I think. You put on like the Thompson's water sealer, you know, the big problem with any sealant outdoors is UV, ultraviolet. It breaks chemicals down really rapidly, so I would make sure it was a UV resistant material.
Right.
You can call these contractors out here, if there's any driveways, they'll sandwire or they'll etch the concrete to remove any loose material in it. And then I don't know if there's, I don't know if there's any restrictions on coloring your concrete driveways, but you can pick any color under the sun, you know, to dye the color.
I think when we came in here, the consensus was they wanted to keep it uniform.
Yeah.
Because some people wanted to put an 1800 block in the driveway and said, no, they wanted to keep it uniform. Same with the color of houses. You couldn't have two houses that were.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really a question for the ARB, possibly as far as driveway coloring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is roads and common area, maintenance. Okay. So again, if you have an issue, please let us know so we can manage the list, we'll take a look at it and take care of it. Okay.
Thanks, Paul.
Third item on my and design, we want to have a position in the. All right, I'll leave that since no one heard. Yeah. This is important. No, I'm going to be rotating out of this position here. Rachel and I are building a new house down the road, not that house. Yeah, the one, yeah. Now we're going to be moving very close by a spring house, next year, early next year, so, we need someone to take the job, and, you know, the biggest thing is coordinating contractors, trying to get jobs done. It's not a lot of labor, it's the type of stuff, it's more coordinating and communicating, okay? So anyone interested, let me know, or let Bill know. Go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We're gonna miss you.
Right. So I am pinch hitting today for Sharon Marshall, who is our communications committee chair. So I'm going to give you her written report, which is excellent. So the committee consists of Sharon Marshall, myself, and Kim Simpson, and we have a couple of volunteers, Janice Bonin and Nancy Shirey. So just to give you a sense of duties, Sharon is managing the relationship with the website platform host, which is called HOA Start. And she sends the emails and updates the newsroom posts and other page copies needed. I work primarily on the website support and guidance, and I handle setting up all of the forms and things like that that you will see on our website. Kim Simpson is our community sign lady. She puts the announcements up on the signboard that appears out in front of the community as you drive in. And she provides calendar entry support when needed on the website. Janice Bonin primarily updates the website calendar, and Nancy Shirey prepares our weekly social committee, blast graphics, and sets up those social committee events and things on the website. So to the committee and the volunteers, Sharon, in absentia, wishes to express her sincere thanks. Sharon also wants to express her apologies for not being here in person. She hopes to be online. She may be online with us, but she really wanted to reach out and say thank you to Edward Hammond, who's finishing his 4th term as secretary, because he's really been an incredible help and provided really excellent guidance the past several years. So the new website is up and running, and we only have 64 members out of 277 in our 164 households who are not registered to the website. So most of these 64 are spouses or significant others in the household. But the message here is that it's really important to have at least one household member registered to the website in order to vote, do things like vote online for the board elections and to view the full website, because there is a front-end website that everybody can see in the public, and then there's the members only section. And that contains things that are particularly relevant to our community that only members should be able to have access to. So if you are in a household that is not registered, please notify PCAM, and that will start the process. You'll basically be sent a password reset link, and then once you've entered your password that you choose, you will have full access to the entire website. The website system is sending weekly calendar and newsroom updates to those who permitted such emails on their website profile in the new BayPointDE.com website. We would strongly encourage you to provide permissions for us to do that on the website in your profile. And if you have questions on how that works, I have my computer here. I'm happy to show you at the end of the meeting. We can walk through how you make changes to your profile so that you can get those messages. You can also, on the website, there's a contact us section, and somebody on the committee will be glad to reach out to you and help you do that. The other thing about the profile is that we encourage you to add your cell phone number in the upper field marked phone in your profile. If you have a landline, those of you who might still have a landline, that would go in the lower part of the profile where there's basically a field for you to enter your landline. The reason we want you to enter your cell phone in the upper field is because once you've done that, you can actually give us permission to send you emergency texts. So if there's a community emergency, if there's a tornado coming, you got to batten down the hatches, things like that, that's one of the mechanisms that we'll send. One of the mechanisms that we will send, we will use to communicate things that are of an urgent nature to you. Our website platform gives us this capability, and it's really the quickest way for us to let you know what's going on. We're going to cancel an event or something like that. We've successfully set up our first meet the candidates and election process with the new website. And after overcoming a few permission-related hiccups, we were successful in moving numbers. So we've created a procedural document that's now stored in the website Board Documents section. And that'll be a reference for future years. So anybody who's going to be setting up the website, future elections will have some guidance on how to do that. We've resolved the issues with the online payment system for events, so that process is now running smoothly. And we've developed an overview of responsibilities document for board consideration that covers things like email functions, who does what, and website maintenance, who does what. Last but not least, we're working up with the social committee for a communication procedures document for canceling social committee or board events that just doesn't unduly burden any one volunteer in the community. We just want to make sure that we've got coverage to be able to get messages out to you in a timely manner without playing a game of telephone to get those messages to you. So that's pretty much my report. Is there any questions?
I do. I do have everything. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm leaving after today. Although what you see me writing in here is my extensive to-do list before I actually walk away. So I have a few words that I wanted to say. Starting with, it's been an honor to serve on the Bay Pointe Board of Directors for the past 3 years, and I thank you all for the opportunity. For those who attended the recent Meet the Candidates or watched the video, you know that most of our candidates said they were coming into this undertaking without an agenda. But when I came onto the board, I did have an agenda. And some of you may have noticed that I show up at every meeting with my red Bay Pointe folder. And inside the cover of this folder, it says, work hard, do the right thing, and leave things better than you found. This has been my focus since day one, and I believe I have delivered on this.
It's been a great experience working with the team that not only manage routine administrative tasks such as budgeting, contracting, and maintenance, but it's also, over these 3 years, enhanced the community with new projects, chartered new committees, improved our finances and investments, implemented new and improved website, developed and updated numerous policies and procedures, and established a leadership code. I have every confidence that the new board will continue to be proactive in making Bay Point a wonderful place to live. But none of this happens, though, without the many volunteers who generously donate their time to make positive contributions to our community. I want to especially thank Sharon Marshall, our former secretary and chairperson of the Communications Committee, and her team of volunteers, Jeannie Cummins, Kim Simpson, Janice Bonin, and Nancy Shottery, who make sure the community is well informed and has spent more time than you know finding, implementing, and maintaining our new Bay Point website. My sincere appreciation goes out to the Communication Committee and all the community volunteers for your help. Thank you.
I know. I didn't follow that. I know, I was thinking the same thing.
Excuse my back to you. Good morning. I'm Nancy Shari. I'm the chair of the social committee. And my report, this year we successfully organized numerous social events, fostering a strong sense of community. At least that's the goal. Highlights from the summer include a memorable sunset cruise where we enjoyed a beautiful evening on the bay, a very exciting evening last night, and a terrific ending to the Delmarva Shorebirds baseball game, for those of you that were there, in a private suite. That was a lot of fun. We've had relaxing poolside gatherings. We did the Saturday social last month, and tomorrow, if you're around, we're doing a Sunday fun day. That is always a good time and well attended. A spirited bocce tournament on our newly constructed bocce courts. If you haven't gotten out there to play yet, you should. The supplies were kept in the closet normally, but for now they're over there. So be sure and check that out if you haven't already. We had a delightful potluck pool party with an array of delicious foods, and another one is scheduled for next month on the 7th. We've had 9 food trucks visit the neighborhood since late May, and we have a couple more coming in this scheduled in the coming weeks. Thank you, Richie Z, for the food trucks, Carolyn Newcott for handling the ice cream truck. And we also had our very own Bay Point Olympics, which brought out the competitive spirit in all of us. Looking ahead, we have over 35 activities and events planned for the remainder of the year, including our first ever block party on October the 5th. Also pleased to announce that thanks to the generosity of 102 households, we raised $2,301 for the social committee. The $1 was found when we did the community cleanup. True story.
And accepted.
And accepted. Those funds allow us to continue supporting and expanding our activities, events like Spaghetti Supper, the Sunset Cruise, the monthly coffee hours, the very popular Aqua Fitness program, which remains free to residents, and the financial support for the annual holiday gala. So I'd like to thank everyone once again for the continued support of the Bay Point community. And as I said, our goal is to bring neighbors together for fellowship and fun. And we look forward to seeing all of you at our next event tomorrow night. Questions?
Nancy,
Yes.
the health run,
Yes.
we've had that several years in a row, and I
Yes.
know that you had asked for some volunteers.
Yes.
Could you share that list of volunteers with me?
One person stepped forward, which was Marty from the email. that she would volunteer. And then in subsequent conversations with two friends in the neighborhood, Sharon DeBernardis and Mark said, oh, I'll help you if you need it. And that's been all that's volunteered.
All right, was a great event in the past. Has anyone in this room participated in that event? Could you raise your hand? All right, I have a full dance card. This is not the only organization that I work with, but I really believe in that health run. It was a great gathering. I will personally chair that under.
Wonderful, thank you.
But I want some help. If I don't get the help, then we can't do it. So you see me about in the community, reach out to Sharon or directly to myself, and we'll make this happen again. I have the contacts for the team. I mean,
Sharon?
I have a lot of stuff on my plate also.
As do I, which is why I'm not chairing the walk run event. My husband would shoot me.
Well, we can't have that. So please, if I can get a half a dozen people, we can do it. If not, then it goes away. It's your decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm ready.
And facilities.
Facilities report. So just going to go over a few things that happened in my year here. It's been interesting for sure. So right after the bat, last September, we had a water incursion from the pump room. So that involved getting Surf Pro out here and all that other good stuff. Immediately after the room was cleaned up and the pool was closed, Dry Zone came in and revamped the pump room to create some drains down in the floor. That work had already been scheduled before we had the water incursion, but the water happened and then we got the room fixed, which is, story of my life. But anyway, Dawn Buenick oversaw that project. She did a really great job, and it's been a good thing. And this summer we had barrels of water in that room, and I just was like, oh, but no water incursion came at all. They soaked the filters in those big barrels of water, but anyway, so everything was good with that. And then you guys all know we had the new HVAC system put in. We did an extensive RFP search on that. Lots of help from Dennis Barton. Everything went very, very nicely until we discovered that the installation was not done properly, and then we have this mold issue that we're currently dealing with. The contractor, Coastal Comfort, has assumed full responsibility for everything that happened in those two areas. We are working with Surf Pro now, and we hope that the whole reconstruction will be done by end of September. So that's a work in progress where we're nailing down details right now, and that will get finished very quickly. Also, just as a reminder, we did, because of help from Dennis, we did get that $8,000 rebate on the cost of the HVAC system, which was fabulous. The clubhouse renovation is almost totally completed. We have a couple of little odds and ends that need to be addressed and figured out and budget addressed, and whether it happens in the next couple of months or first part of next year, the clubhouse will be done. And as you guys all can see, it was a refresh that was absolutely needed. The room looks lovely and modern and comfortable, and it functions so much better for us, the way we use the room, the flexibility of the chairs and everything is just really great. And Dawn was the spearhead of that committee, and she wanted me to make sure that I thanked her team, Chris Baker, Ladine, Nikki, Sharon Higby, Blake, I'm sorry, Sharon and Barbara Jasinski. So thank you one and all for your help. Everything came out really very nicely. After that, we had the clubhouse the roof was repaired after the big windstorms from January. It was a minor repair, but that happened, and And I was having fits when I saw shingles on the floor and I'm like, oh God. But it was an easy repair thanks to David Barth, the cohort of Bill's. So Bill knew him and Bill recommended him. We've installed cameras at the pier and at the gazebo and at the clubhouse in the front and at the pool in the back. We talked about these cameras at a few meetings, and the consensus was we needed them for security. We've had people come in from the back from that way, and that people felt like security cameras would be a way to add a level of protection. So those cameras are there. They were all installed by Dave Baca. He's kind of led me by the hand through all of this. I'm kicking and screaming because technology is not my thing, but the cameras are there, and somebody will take that responsibility on to monitor things as I leave and transition off, I guess is the expression I'm looking for. One thing that I wanted to mention is the cameras that are here at the front and the back. They are only on from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. They are not monitoring every single minute. That the decision was made that those were the times when nefarious things might be happening, that we needed to have the cameras recording. So I wanted everybody to know that. More thanks go to Dave Baca for installing wireless smoke detector systems. We have one here, one in the kitchen, and one in the pump room. They are Wi-Fi connected. Barb and Glenn are monitoring that. We have another gizmo that we're going to buy that is going to, if anything should happen in here, this added, it's a siren of sorts, and it's gonna make big noise for all of you locals here. So if you hear a big siren, so that was a big plus for us. What's here now costs less than $400. I'm not sure what this siren is going to be, but I'm sure it's not a tremendous amount of money. A huge difference from the first bid that I got to have a smoke detector system that was connected with our alarm, with our key fob system. That was almost $10,000 to have that put in. So if this works, if this is effective, if the new board is happy with this was a huge savings. And thank you, Dave, for reminding us last month that still nothing had been done, but it's done now and it's taken care of. We had termites over here in the wall over the beginning of the summer, so we got the termites taken care of. So that was exciting. We are enjoying the pool. We feel that Premier Pool has done an excellent job this season. As part of my function as facilities person, I come to the clubhouse and the pool almost every single day, some days more than once a day. I do a little walkabout. Is the water level good? Is the trash all picked up? Are the chairs all lowered? Or, all of these things. Are the gates locked? That's been my bugaboo this summer, particularly that back gate. Oftentimes it's not closed. And the reason I'm harping on it, I know I've said something about it in other meetings, the gate needs to be locked. It's a security issue. It's a hazard. It's a liability. We need to make sure that gate is shut. I know the fence is not that high, but at least the gate helps a little bit. We have had people through the neighborhood that don't belong in the neighborhood, people through the neighborhood that have caused trouble. What's to stop them from just waltzing into the pool and then maybe something happening? It's our community. It's our money. It's on us to protect everything. If we could all just pretend that gate is not there, unless there's a true emergency. And then if there's a true emergency, have at it. But please don't use it. I want you to come in and out of the front. Okay, so that's basic for that. let's see, it's been a busy year for me, very educational, starting with the hydrofluorochlorocarbons to scout termites and those artillery spores, all sorts of fascinating things. It's been 12 gauge wires and 50 amps to 35 amps, blah, blah, blah. But I learned a lot. It's been a blast to get to know all of you. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of things have happened this year.
It's been a hell of a year.
So I would like to take this opportunity to let everybody know, thank you for all of your help. Anytime that I felt like I needed help, it was a phone call, an email, or a Facebook post before I had expert help in whatever I needed, whatever I couldn't figure out, everybody was there to help. Many thanks go to Larry Lineweaver, Danny the electrician, Dennis Barton, Dawn Buwanek, who was, a fount of information on everything, Chris Blake, Jerry Greibel, people who helped keep the flags and the pennants in tip-top shape. I can't forget my husband, Peter Haskell, who listened to me yak on about this every single day. He answered every single one of my questions, whether or not I liked his answers, whether or not I followed his advice, but many thanks. Thank you to Colin Weber for, your dedication to the ARB. And it goes without saying, my appreciation to all of the knowledge and the hand-holding and patience of my board members. Ashley deserves special thanks. She took every single one of my phone calls. Anyway, it's been a busy year. It's been fun, and I have committed to seeing through the reconstruction of that. I will help with whatever I can with that. I will make sure that gets situated properly, wrapped up. I will be available to the board, to the next board in any way that I can help. And I just got to get my beach time back. It says that's the issue here. But anyway, that's my report. Any questions on any of the, yes, ma'am. They've done a nice job.
Last year, that's it.
Okay.
She's here every day.
Well, I'm friends with Etienne, so he knows to be nice. He's good. He's good.
Oh, he's very good.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, and well, we knew that there were some issues from last year, and we proactively we had a meeting with the owner of the pool company early spring, and we said, we're gonna sign the contract again. There's some people that don't want to sign the contract again, but we expect better service, and so they've really been top notch, I think. And we have them again next year, so we don't have to worry about that contract either. Okay, all right. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you for the compliments.
Thank you. We'll miss you.
Yes.
Data from security, stored. How accessible is it if one of us has a concern? And what's the right process?
Of concern that something happened, or you're concerned that?
Yeah, that there may have been an incident, let's say.
Okay, so I just, at the pool here, in the evenings, from 6 o'clock on, the camera is out there. And when there's motion, I get a notice on my phone, and the notices go from 6 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. And
Sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. I mean, this is, so if something happened, say somebody took something out of your bag. I know that would never happen here, but say somebody took something out of your bag. You would say to me, something got lost between 6 and 8 on Tuesday night. I could go back and I look, and I could scroll through. The camera takes pictures of movement. So if the camera noticed the movement of somebody going into your bag, there might be a picture. If it's real far away, the person who took something you might not even be able to recognize them.
The process is, if you have something that you're worried, or you're seeing, or whatever it is, what is going, you just hit the contact us button, get it to us. That's how we find
will
out.
go back.
And we've got different people that are monitoring the camera, cameras on their phone. So we can immediately go in and see. There had been an incident down at the pier, and that was one of the areas that we wanted to go in and find out what was going on down there, and we could look at the video and stuff, and go.
So they will work a bit similar
Yes.
as far as.
As your home,
Thank you.
But the process is get to the contact us, or if you see one of the board members out, get to us, and we can then.
Yes,
Just a follow-up, how long are those videos retrievable?
I think it's 30 days.
30 days?
Destructive updates?
I don't
It-
know.
it goes away.
We're asking the wrong person.
It goes away, yeah.
Yes,
I have a question. It's been 6 months since the place was painted. How long does that 10-inch tape that was sticking out in that corner like that?
okay, so exactly, I don't know, not exactly. Right before we discovered the mold issue, I did make a phone call to start getting estimates to make some painting repairs and repainting. That was on the list. The spots where the termites, the drilling happened with the termites, the dings that we caused with the touch-ups, the air conditioning issue in the room, they're on the list. I have one estimate. I stopped when the mold issue started. So it is on the list of things to do.
Once the remediation and all of that is done, all of that will be touched up. It is on the list.
And-
We're not gonna do a piecemeal and bring somebody in. You gotta, get a contract bid on.
And that ceiling was not painted when we did the refresh. It was just the walls. So it's not like something was done poorly. Pardon?
It's probably
It probably has been.
Unfortunately, that peel happened right after we painted everything, and then we saw.
That's how it is.
That's why it is. So we gotta wait and bring back, we have a full list.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
All right, it's now, this whole portion of our meeting. We really appreciate everybody that submitted questions in advance. That really helps us so that we can get answers to you. We will address those questions first, then we'll open it up to questions. I'm starting it off with the first two questions that came in, which had to deal with inspections, violations, and fines. Great topics. All homeowners in Bay Pointe are responsible, as you know, for the appearance of their property, and they must follow the CCRs with regard to that appearance. No one, including board members, like getting that courtesy message. I didn't like getting that courtesy message from PCAM. And sometimes it's really aggravating when you've already addressed the issue and then you get a second notice, which does happen. Understand that PCAM comes out, they're contracted to come out twice a month. So yes, there will be notices that could overlap. And we ask, if you cannot accommodate their request, just give PCAM a call. They will work with you. They are just giving suggestions that you do this. They will work with you. If you've already booked your power washer, if you can't get out because of the heat and they'll work with you. It doesn't help to, give there is no need to, I would say, to vocally express your grievances. Work with PCAMs. They are willing to work with you, and that's what their job is. We are, just so you know, I would say reviewing, Ashley and I, the tone of the courtesy message. The courtesy message is quite stiff and curt, and addressing also some of the confusing information that comes out in those messages. Realize those are automated messages by Vanca. They go to a lot of communities, but we are going to work to adjust ours. The next question came in about violations and fines. And as reported, PCAM is responsible for flagging violations. However, there have been homeowners that have expressed concerns about some of the people or property that border their properties. Please understand that PCAM, we rely on PCAM to do the inspections, to keep track of the violations. We do not target homeowners. That's like we're targeting homeowners. No, the board has never asked PCAM to step up the property oversight to increase violations. No, we have never done anything like that. In fact, this year they wanted to know if there's been an increase in us, going out for violations fines. So I asked Bill to check what was the fines that we've had, over. And since 2021, we have collected $525. And this year we have had 0 fines. So there is not an exorbitant of going out there and fining people. We just, most people take care of it prior to even, getting a notice, or they get the notice and immediately they get to it. So we also, since the turnover of the community, which happened in 2017 and 18, we adopted the enforcement policy with a fine schedule. That's what we have. This policy was done in January 2020 of 2017. So this has been a policy that's been in effect since the assets were turned over. The board is glad to report that most homeowners comply with the system and take care of their properties before we even need to institute a fine. And so I think, I would like to thank all of the people that have been complying with these policies and keeping Bay Pointe really the buyer's paradise. We have a very successful, being an ex-realtor, as everybody knows, we have a turnover rate here that's phenomenal. So I really thank all of the people that are keeping up the properties and keeping our property values. Okay, that's mine. Questions, Glenn? I think you and Edward, see the next.
You'll start.
Oh. Can't read without glasses.
Sorry.
So this relates to a number of commenters who reached out to us concerning the sign controls policy and the CCR amendment. And it appears there's misunderstanding concerning these two recent and separate board actions. To approve a new sign control policy and approve a community action to consider amending our CCRs with section 8.16 sign controls. So to start with, I'm going to talk about the new policy, which has been distributed via email and posted to the website. And then following that, Glenn is going to talk separately about the process for amending the CCRs, because these are two separate things. So the questions that we had received on the sign policy fall into 3 basic categories. Starting with, there were 2 commenters who questioned the board's authority to adopt the sign controls policy. One of the core duties of the board of directors is to adopt rules and regulations, which is addressed in our governing documents. During the process of developing the sign controls policy, which, by the way, has taken more than a year. This has been a long studied process. During the process of developing the sign controls policy and proposed CCR amendment, the board consulted with the association's attorney to ensure it was acting within its authority. The board has the prerogative and the authority to adopt the policy without the need to amend the CCRs. Second, there were 2 questions asking about the display of specific types of flags. Questions like these will be considered on a case-by-case basis. The policy does allow, however, for the display of holiday, seasonal, and celebration flags, signs, and banners, if they conform to the other provisions of the policy.
The board may consider amending the policy if necessary to provide clarification on the items that are already in the policy and or to address changing circumstances, which is the purpose of having the policy, because it allows the board to be able to adapt to changing circumstances. And then there was also a comment about the policy not addressing flagpoles. Because flagpoles are addressed specifically in the Architectural Review Board guidelines, there was no need to include them again in the sign controls policy. And for folks that are interested, they can refer to Appendix C, projects requiring architectural approval, Section C-12, accessory structures in the ARB guidelines. They'll be attached. It'll be attached.
That will be in the minutes, if you believe it.
Let me jump in here.
Yep.
All right, as Edward's already pointed out, two different activities, very separate, somewhat, I think. I want to talk about the process to change the CCR. Doesn't happen very often. There is a defined process that we have to follow, we the community. And it starts with our attorney, who will be developing a consent form. And we've already asked him to start putting that together. Then it will be mailed out to everyone. Then attached to that will be an introduction explaining the purpose of amending the CCR. So you'll get details explaining what this is all about. There will also be instructions on what you have to do to signify your approval. So again, part of the process. Once it's sent out, there's a 60-day term that must be completed. It must be completed within 60 days. We need 109 votes, or 66% of the total number of lots. So if 109 people step up and approve it, then it's a done deal and we move forward. If we don't get the 109, then the amendment dies. It's the same process that this community has followed before. It doesn't happen often. I don't remember a lot of details, but I'm learning too. But again, it's the same process. I will say that we, as a board, strongly recommend approval of this because it will provide us with the necessary guidance, if you will, for all of us to follow for the future. Separate activity from the sign controls policy, which Edward.
But related.
But very
So it's taking, not verbatim, restrictions that were in the ARB guidelines where they did not belong, putting them into a policy right now, and that will be also incorporated into the CCR.
That's what we have to share.
Yes, okay. Lynn, you had the
I
next
have the last question, and my question is about the schedule,
And this question was not raised in the typical manner where people send in their question to the portal, but it was just a question that was asked in a manner that is not consistent with the guidelines. But anyway, the question was raised about the schedule of the pool. Pool is open from Friday of Memorial Day through the Sunday beyond Labor Day. So we're open from May 27th, I think, till September 8th this year. That pool contract is $560 per week. To extend it, we get some kind of a discount. I thought it would be more, but it goes to $410 a week. So if we wanted to extend the pool season by 4 weeks, that's an extra $1,600. Plus you have additional expense. We have the housekeeper come in every week when the pool is open. So that's an additional $120 for one more month. And then that doesn't even include the energy costs for running the pump 24/7. So you have all of those expenses, the notification that went around the neighborhood said 4 weeks would cost $1,000. It is totally untrue. It is a lot more than that. In addition, Premier Pool uses a lot of J1 visa employees, and I'm not even sure that if we asked for additional time, if we could get them. Even though he does have a price for them, I'm not sure that it's automatic that you could get additional time with the pool. And then finally, we talked about the pool schedule of 2 board meetings ago, and we decided that the pool could not be opened beyond September 8th because we were really counting on the apron being repaired that first week after the pool closed. But that got pushed to the 3rd week in September, because of the bad weather that everybody has been having. So the concrete place, their work is stacked up. So we're now behind in where we were on the line. So that's the reason why the pool couldn't be open longer this year. It's a discussion. I believe the board has it every year. Is it worth the extra money to do? There's only a small handful of people that are, diehard people at the pool. And I think it's a discussion that the board will have every single year, whether or not it should be open longer. But that's the reason it was not open longer this year.
And when this year we did, it's normally Memorial Day to Labor Day. You realize Labor Day was early. It would have closed on the 3rd. We did extend it a week because we felt, which is the normal time that we have. So we already extended it a week this year because it was going to be, everything is earlier.
Okay.
Now, I think that's all the questions that we had from the community. So we'll now open it up for questions. Okay.
So we have first, this has to do with what we were just talking about. Okay, so in general, we extended it like just not a whole month, like just 1 more week after this. I mean, I understand this year with the contract and all that, but in general, just like to take it to the middle of September. And my other question was also pertaining to that. Why do all the chairs, I mean, I understand this year, but why do the chairs and tables have to be locked up so early when we enjoy like coming and playing games at the pool and different things that doesn't involve going into the pool? Playing mahjong.
So the cover would be on the pool, but have the pavilion open. I don't know. Is that an insurance?
Let's consider it.
Yeah,
We'll
the only
consider.
thing I want to say it might be an insurance thing, but that's, something that needs to.
I don't think it is an insurance.
Well, no, I just think. Yeah, it's plenty.
I could guess. I'm an opinion, but I don't think it's insurance.
It's a good suggestion. Thank
Yeah.
you.
More work for Nancy.
Okay, Dan?
2 comments. I'll try to keep them short. Dave Rock and I were on the flag committee. Our concern about the policy that we have right now is that we still believe it's too discretionary. Now, I'm not accusing any of the people on the board. These people are good people. But what we're looking is beyond that new elections. We don't know who those personalities are going to be. So the policy that we tried to come up with was to be the boarding policy. It was specific enough to reduce as much discretionary power on the board because of the fine schedule, which nobody brought up now. You want to know what the process was in the ad hoc committee. We had 12 members from the ad hoc committee. We came up with a whole bunch of proposals. I actually wrote something codified and got my head in. Okay? But it had something like 14 definitions. The point was is that after we finally agreed on comments, there were things on cultural awareness that were brought up, holiday banners, all kinds of different things that we had to put in here. We put it in, we codified it, we did the best we could on that. And then the board then asked questions. And Dave went through a lot of effort to allay their concerns about this ad hoc committee recommendation. What came down was a watered down version. That's the reason why Dave and I said we would recommend no on this thing. We want to go back to specifics and try to keep it so that when somebody does violate a flag policy, we're not talking about things like pools or landscaping. We're talking about freedom of expression. Okay, we don't want to have a situation that's going to become acrimonious. And that was the whole design from beginning to end, to come up with something that people can live with, that was specific, so that when they did violate the flag policy, it would be specific enough to say, this is what it is, you violated it, either change it, or now you go into a fine schedule. And after a first warning, the second warning is $100 fine. Enough on that. If you want to know more about it, we can talk about it. My second comment, the second comment is about Gail Dubois. Now, I heard no God. I'm going to tell you something right now. Whoever mentioned that she was the worst neighbor in this neighborhood really I invite them to go to her house and see what she did outside.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm going to talk. You probably don't know that this woman defended the sport over that landscape policy. She dressed me down on it. Because she's committed. She's committed. Don't interrupt. She just committed. Adjourn.
Yeah, you don't really need to be rude.
All right.
You don't need to.
Don't drink fast. Two questions. One is, sign on a road property that's, private property, that type of thing?
Yeah, every good thing, if it's not in the sign policy, it'll be considered on a case by case basis if you want something like that. Everybody likes security signs, all of that stuff. So, yeah, if it's not covered, yes.
Okay, and, also, no one ever addressed the, signage in front of the neighborhood, which is what we really need. This little teeny sign that I can't even read. We need to know.
Yeah, That, the common area signs and everything that we are addressing, that has nothing to do with the sign policy, all common area signs. So we have, I heard, you before that, you want to have something that's bigger. I'm sort of in the same vein, so we are looking into that. It will be with the next board, so, okay, but. Anybody else? All right, lastly, before we get into the elections and everything, I too would like to thank Edward for his exceptional service on the board. I have to say, he was probably one of the most valuable members that I have ever worked with. He will sorely be missed by me. There is no question. He was instrumental in cleaning up all of our documents. I mean, the documents, it was amazing how many different things, if you read through all of it, what the CCR said, what the bylaw said, what the art board said, there were all, what policies were said, and he cleaned that all up. He was, definitely a godsend for this community. He's very concise and very non-conflicting information. He made sure that all of that was there. He organized the new website. He made sure that every document was out there and was transparent to the HOA. So we really encourage everybody to get onto the website because there's where a lot of information is. And that was due to Edward. Edward, I thank you for these last 3 years and your dedication to Bay Point. You will be missed by me. Very much. I know, but really thank you.
Here.
As you know, Lynn is leaving also. Now, Lynn, she was willing to run and take over a one-year term. I mean, there was a little arm twisting, but she stepped in. Little did I know in asking her to join the board or, and then to run again, that she would be overseeing so many projects. And she went through a list of them, but here's somebody that stepped in, total novice, didn't know what she was doing, researched, had support from the community, and really did an absolutely fantastic job. I guess I can understand. We tried to get Lynn to run again, and I can understand why she needs a break. And Lynn, you would have thought that you would have to manage all of these projects in 1 year, and I thank you because you were the one that could do the job. And I really thank you so much for being on the call. Joined the board. Ashley, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
After one of the two members of the convention, it would remain. Sign up for the ballot and pay for the rest, and also we need to be repeating on the beginning.
Okay, so I would also like to thank Edward and it has been a true pleasure working with both of you. I have learned a lot from both of you as well. I really appreciate you guys. I would also like to thank the 4 candidates that chose to run. So we had Mark, Phil, Gail, and Drew. And the final numbers are Mark with 48 votes, Phil with 97, Gail with 9, and Drew with 62. So Phil and Drew will be our new board members.
everybody. Volunteers.
Oh,